Ladies and gentlemen, how do?
Hello and welcome to Mondo Street Social Club, a new podcast aimed at bringing creative minds together. Mondo Street is about sharing the creative process, discussing the highs and lows, and talking about how we cope when the creative genie eludes us. Pull up your comfy chair, put in your best headphones, and enjoy the next hour. Good morning, Karen. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're more than welcome. Welcome to the Social Club. As you'll have heard from listening to a couple of episodes of the podcast, this is an opportunity for us to meet creative minds, talk about who they are, why they are, and how they actually practice their creative processes. Because for me, and this is, I suppose it's one of these selfish motives behind having a podcast, is I'm fascinated by how people practice creativity. And it doesn't matter what it is, whether you're making a statue or in your case, writing a book. So could we start with a little bit of how you got to where you are today and what made you want to be a writer?
I'm here by accident, actually. So I never knew I wanted to be a writer, which is crazy, isn't it? Because lots of writers just say, oh, I've been writing for years. I wrote my first book when I was 5. Yeah. But no, I never knew what I wanted to be. So I never went to university. I liked drama, but I liked the confidence. I liked art, but I was never very good at fine art. So I liked the modernist kind of splashes of colour. And I thought, you know what, I'm not going to go anywhere with that. I loved writing, but I'm not sure whether it's the stationery I liked more or the actual writing. Love stationery. Yeah. So at an early age, I was attracted to office jobs, in administrative jobs. So yeah, I've been a receptionist, an administration assistant. I was a valuation consultant for a new homes developer. Okay. And then I really wanted to be a PA. That was like my dream job in my 20s. And I actually managed it. So I ended up being a personal assistant and the office manager at the Lees School in Cambridge. Okay, yeah. So it's a very prestigious school. And it's actually, one of my favourite jobs. Well, before writing, obviously. During that time, I gave birth to my son. He's now 8. After that, I went back full time, though. So when he was 12 months old, I went back full time. And then after having my daughter, a little less than 3 years later, I decided to stay off work with her because it was just more financially viable. Then when she was 9 months old, we moved from Cambridge to Devon. Mm-hmm. And we were just mooching around for a year. It's a new place. We went out on the moor. We enjoyed the beach. We met new people in baby groups. It was great. I homeschooled her, which I really enjoyed. So I created a learning journey for her. So anything that a childminder would have done, I did all that. I looked online and see what she would need to be learning. And I did a whole journey for her, so she's still got that. But then obviously lockdown hit, and I took the opportunity to write creatively, something that I'd already done like privately. So I always had always wrote a journal and little stories and poems. But I started a fun educational blog on Facebook, and I just wanted to support and help other parents because I thought that maybe I wasn't the only one feeling a bit anxious about it. Yeah. And it actually turned out to be quite a success. So that is what inspired me to carry on writing children's books.
Fantastic. And just to give that a shout out, is that the Adventurous Panda Bear?
It is, yeah. So during lockdown, I had a little jellycat panda bear. He's actually up there on my shelf above me. And he joined us everywhere. So me and my 2 children, he joined us and he did funny things. We put him like in things, eating things, doing things, dropping things. Yeah. It was hard work every day because I posted daily for 86 days straight. Wow. So that, as well as homeschooling my children and doing the blog and staying sane. I'm really proud of it. And it's something that I probably could never do again. But yeah, it was really, really fun. And that it hooked me, basically.
Brilliant. Brilliant. So that was going into using Facebook as a story mechanism. You've still got that stepping stone into going into, and I'll say this and I'll put air quotes around it, which nobody will see, but into more formal writing, because put it on
Yeah.
Facebook, it's only that audience. That audience can grow to quite a significant size, but getting something into a hard format is a different experience.
It's a completely different experience, but it motivates you to want to do that. And I feel like I could do that now, because some of the things that I was having fun with and didn't find was that serious,
Yeah.
some of those posts actually got 900 viewers.
Wow.
So there's something in there that people found entertaining, and that's what books are. They should be entertaining. They shouldn't be too preachy.
Mm-hmm.
They should entertain, and then also combine a message as well.
Yeah, there should be a source of escapism, comfort, so something
Yeah.
where you can just park the day, and
Yeah.
it doesn't matter how old you are. As a child, there's plenty of pressures on children nowadays that they will need somewhere to park their day, and I think that having a really good story for them to get into and to almost float away with is a part of that magic of childhood, which unfortunately we could be starting to see decline a little bit, because everything is social media, everything is 5-second cuts on TV. So, that is that part of the reason why you were then inspired to start writing?
I don't know. I just have an urge to help people. I don't know what it is. I've never been in like a care role, but everything, like my job history is all about assisting, helping, supporting. And I don't know, I just at the time I just felt like I had all these ideas and I wanted to make people smile and not worry. So yeah, I just put myself out there.
What a really nice aspiration, though. That if that is your inspiration to actually go out and write a story, what a lovely thing to do.
Thank you.
It really is, because we see too many questions over, is society, is community still in existence? Do we really care about each other? But then you get people like yourselves and other writers like Chris, and I always mispronounce Chris's name unless I practice it 28 times. So sorry, Chris, I'm going to miss the middle bit and say Chris Blay. That way I won't mispronounce it. We get people like yourselves who have grasped hold of that magic of childhood. And
I think having children is the key. Yeah, so you do get inspired and you see how much they love a story, and you see how much it does encourage them and inspire them more than you think it does. So yeah, having children does help.
Has either of your children done anything that has got into one of your stories? Have you watched them do something and they've gone, "Oh, that's actually really good. I think I'll
all
just..."
the time.
All the time.
Yeah, they inspire me and help me write more than they know.
Yeah.
When they grow up, they'll know.
Yeah, fantastic. So where are you in your writing journey now then? So if we look at from Facebook and the 900 views, that there's a good following there. Where has that led you to now?
So straight after the blogs, I then went on to write for Challenging Learning, which is a big educational entity that it's a concept where you challenge yourself, you step out of your comfort zone. So James Nottingham at Challenging Learning was a big inspiration for those books. So I then wrote a series of board books for children, and I'm self-publishing those at the moment. And then I went on to, because I'm a new writer, so I then went on to writing for 3 to 6 year olds. I wrote a short picture book. And then I thought, you know what, I'll try my hand at a chapter book as well. So I then wrote a middle grade chapter book about finding your courage and stepping out of your comfort zone. So I've written all 3 age ranges, and you know what, I don't know which one I prefer. So I'm still learning. But I've written a whole range of books, some on the back burner, some I'm self-publishing, some I'm still editing, and I'm just excited. I'm enjoying doing all of it.
Yeah. How are you finding the self-publishing?
Expensive. I know you can write the words and then put them onto CreateSpace, and you can have a published book within a few hours.
Yeah.
But like I always do, I always take the harder route, and I decided to self-publish a series of board books, and board books are the most expensive thing to self-publish. So I'm working with a great artist called Jose Sanchez, also known as Paratrope, and he is a concept artist. So he's a little bit different from all the books that I've read with my children, but that's what I wanted. So he's just got such an artistic flair, and the pictures are just beautiful. The light in the jungle scenes are amazing. So I can't wait to share some of those. But yeah, that's been a fantastic journey working with an illustrator as well.
That's really interesting, that, because you've actually got you've got cross creativity. So you've got your written word and then somebody's images. Do you just give them the picture and say, the words, and say, interpret that, or do you sit and talk about how you visualized it before they then attempt it?
We collaborated over email because he's in Costa Rica.
Okay.
So I gave him the words and he put his spin on it. So the words were enough for each spread. And we have been discussing the front cover a bit more because that's the really important one, isn't it? It's how it's attracting the reader to pick it up from the shelf and actually buy it. So yeah, the front cover has been a bit more challenging. But yeah, he's done all of the spreads and I'm so happy with them.
Fantastic. That's really good. That. So did you find him through a referral, or did you just find him on Facebook or Instagram?
Well, my second part-time job is researcher.
Okay.
As all writers, I love researching. So I will research something to death. I will know it inside out, and then I'll be happy to go forward. So whatever I do, I feel like a kind of temporary professional in that field. So yeah, I went on to all of the, the Illustrator competition sites. I looked at all the artist forums and platforms that I could find, and I wanted to find something that. Or an artist, when I saw their work, I was like, yeah, wow, that's what I want. And I did. So I saw his artwork and I was like, oh, that's just fantastic. And when you get goosebumps when you see something, you just think, yeah, that's it. And that was it.
Yeah. And that shows dedication to making sure that your words are represented for the children that might not be able to read because they're younger. They can still interact with those stories.
Yeah,
that's really, really cool. How did lockdown then affect you? From the, you had the adventurous panda bear going, but how did lockdown then affect you from making plans moving forward from there?
Well, lockdown was great. So I started my career in lockdown. I mean, that's my stepping stone. So. I did my blogs, which I could do from home. I did my writing from home. The children inspired me when we were all playing together. We were spending so much time together. So lockdown for me was the best. I really enjoyed it. I might have cried myself to sleep several nights and drank lots and lots of wine and ate lots and lots of chocolate. It was very stressful. I'm not going to say it was easy. Oh my gosh. But yeah, that's when I decided I want to be a writer, and that's when all the opportunities arose. It was just a fantastic opportunity for me.
I've spoken to quite a few people who found lockdown stressful and challenging, but also that allowed a period of creativity to blossom within them. And that's don't want to go through it again though.
No.
I think one lockdown every couple of 100 years is maybe okay, but doing another one would just be a little bit too much for me. There's
I like my coffee hot.
Yeah. And I think I got to the end of Netflix by the end of lockdown. I'm just like, nothing else to watch. Oh dear. Yeah, it's terrible, isn't it? Yeah. So if we think about the books that you're writing now, then, and I know that you're very, very young in your writing journey, do you think that you'll ever, or have you got aspirations to break out of this age range?
if you ask any writer what would make them feel successful, it would be different for every writer. For me, as you say, because I'm so new, my dream, my aspiration is to be a published author. So to see my book on a shelf in a bricks and mortar bookshop, and then to see a complete stranger pick it up and buy it and want to buy it, that for me would be success. Yeah, because I haven't encouraged that to happen. They're not buying it to do me a favor. They're buying it because they enjoy the words, they enjoy the product that me and an illustrator have created together. So yeah, that for me would be my aspiration, to become published, whether traditionally or self-published. But yeah, and making money would be great.
Always helps, doesn't it?
That's a benefit. Yeah.
Life's great anesthetic. Money.
Just to see somebody want to buy something that I've created would be a dream come true.
So if we talk about your creative processes then, so are you somebody who is very regimented, that goes, maybe an hour a day, I must write, or are you more free flowing?
Definitely. Oh, I was going to say free flowing, because I don't have a rigid routine like people have. 7 till 8, I'll write. 8 till 9, I'm not like that, but I do like a list and I do like a plan. So I'll plan what I'm going to do on a day. And I like to plan when I'm writing. But the thing with creativity is, you can sit down, and if you get, like lots of writers get writer's block. If you say, right, I'll write for an hour and create and write 1,000 words, and then you get writer's block, that's time wasted. So you can't really plan. If you're not feeling very creative, you're best on something else and then come back later. So yeah, I plan I'm going to write on a day, but not hourly.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. We've discussed that quite a lot, where truly creative minds like to more free form it. Transactional creativity, maybe you're putting down a drum pattern or something, which is something that you already know by muscle memory. Then you can say, yes, I'll do that in an hour. But when you're actually creating something from nothing, or from a seed in your head, then it does tend to be more free flowing. You mentioned writer's block. Has that crossed your path yet?
I know that was going to come up, because that's the theme of the interview, isn't it? It's stumbling over difficulties. But you know what? So many writers are going to hate me. I don't actually get it. I have the opposite problem, where I have so many ideas and so many projects, and I just can't write them down quick enough. So I struggle with the feeling of being overwhelmed rather than writer's block. And I think the ideal answer would be, I read a book, or I go for a walk, or I talk to a friend, or free writing, where you time yourself for 10 minutes and you just write constantly. The actual answer is, I have a mini meltdown. I do stress cleaning. I have a bit of a cry. I'm quite an emotional person. I beat myself up at the gym. So that's my way of getting rid of my frustrations. And I rewrite my to-do list. So I reprioritize all the time, because life gets in the way of writing. It's not like going to an office 9 to 5 and then coming back and being out of your writer's mind. You're constantly thinking about writing. So I'm constantly reprioritizing. And then I just take one step at a time. I start to slow down, because you only get overwhelmed if you're trying to do too much, which I always do. So I just slow down. And then when it gets so bad, I sleep.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think a lot of writers are going to tut at you now for saying that you get writer's block. They're all going, just you wait. It's just around the corner.
She's lying.
I'm a musician, so I write quite a bit. And,
okay.
And writer's block for me is the fact that the notes just stop. So I completely subscribe to what you're saying about free forming when you are creative, not being kind to yourself. I've talked about that a lot on this podcast about you don't beat yourself up. The idea will come out of you eventually, because it is in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just don't know when it's going to come out, and sometimes it'll come out at a
Yeah.
weird time. It really will.
Usually when you've just closed your eyes going to sleep as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
And then you have to get back up and get the pad and the paper
Yeah.
and write it down before it goes.
Yeah. Or you end up with a really strange series of notes that you've almost auto-written during the night. You turn your phone on and you go, huh? What's this?
I've read with my eyes closed before, and then I woken up in the morning thinking, oh no, I remember that being a really good idea.
Yeah. You can sleep and learn at the same time. Who'd have thought that, eh? So one of the other common themes as well, and this is for people who have not only been creatives all of their lives, but it's also for people who have transitioned from other professions into creative roles, is this imposter syndrome, where we look at our output and compare it to our peers, and we just go, oh God, and I suffer from it,
It's hard not to.
Yeah. How do you cope with that?
I read this great quote or piece of writing that it just said, don't compare your chapter 1 to their chapter 20. So again, I've researched how they got to that. What can I do to get to where they are? And it usually takes writers years. And I'm a realist, so I've only been writing for 3 years. So for me to expect me to be anywhere near anybody that inspires me, it's just ridiculous. You keep on plodding, you keep on doing what you love, and if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. It will happen. It's persistence, isn't it?
It is, yeah. You mentioned then people who inspire you. Who are the authors that inspire you?
Well, as I said, I didn't know I wanted to be a writer until very late in my years. So it's only recently, and I think it was reading Julia Donaldson books to my children. So I love rhyming. I loved reading the Julia Donaldson books to my children. So she inspired me initially. And I've always loved poetry, writing haikus, like in my spare time, not showing anybody, just emptying my mind with all these creative words. So then I started to read Aesop's Fables and La Fontaine, and I loved the concept. I loved the message that was entwined in all these, crazy stories. So poetry, Aesop's, Julia Donaldson. I've also already mentioned challenging learning, helping children, and probably my board book series is David Attenborough. So it was the animals, his love and passion to want to help the world. That inspired me greatly for the Adventurous Panda Bear, because the Adventurous Panda Bear travels the 7 continents of the world, learning about animals. And I think David Attenborough once said, you can't care about something that you've never seen. So any books with animals in that are going to teach a child about animals that are preferably endangered, anybody, any animals around the world, I think that's just great.
Yeah, absolutely. And he is such a master at what he does, isn't he? He truly is. It's very, very difficult to watch one of his programs and hear his voice without being completely drawn into it, and then suddenly falling deeply in love with everything he's talking about. And at the end of the program, you go, I care so desperately about the praying mantis. Let me help it.
All those turtles.
Oh, yeah.
The little baby turtles. Oh, don't start me off.
Oh, no. I think we've gone a little bit too far with the baby turtles there. That's just one of those things where even men go, no, I've got something on my eye now. I'll be back in a minute. No one's... Yeah, those baby turtles. That is a harsh realization of life, isn't it?
Yeah.
Run! That's the first thing they hear when they get out of this shell. Run! And you're thinking, what? Dear me. So when you've got the book self-published, then where would you wish for those stories to go after the printed word? Because there's so many opportunities nowadays, aren't there?
Yeah, I have looked into marketing already. So I have contacted the WWF to try and find a place on their website for my books, because obviously their logo is the panda bear, and David Attenborough did inspire the books. I've also spoken to my local zoo, Paynton Zoo, and bookshops. I'm hoping to have it in Waterstones as well. So yeah, everywhere that it could be, really. Yeah.
How about an animated series?
Possibly. Yeah, my illustrator does like to do animations.
Yeah, I was going to say, because it's something like that.
Yeah.
That is another way of really capturing children's attention, isn't it? Is to have
Yeah.
the moving primary colours as well as the words and sounds and some music.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Yeah, so we could see the Adventure of Panda Bear, the movie.
Oh!
Yeah. The only problem is, what would the panda bear say to Paddington if they crossed paths?
I don't know. My panda bear likes peanut butter. So they might
Ah,
have to swap sandwiches and try each other's sandwiches.
what a great... I think we're actually coming up with a theme for a film here, you know.
Hey!
Yeah.
You saw it here
You
first.
certainly did. The copyright sits right here, folks. None of these big Hollywood execs coming along and claiming we did this. But what a great idea. So how many books then do you feel that you've got with the panda? You know,
It's 7. It's a series of 7.
7. Okay.
Yeah. So each book is one continent. So the adventurous panda bear will visit all 7 continents.
And that makes perfect sense, because there are 7 continents. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, it only takes technical prowess to run a podcast, not necessarily intelligence. Dear me.
We do our research.
Yeah, well done. Yeah, I just forgot there were 7 continents, but I won't even take this out. I'll leave it in as well. So what after the 7 continents for the panda?
I don't know with the panda bear. I think I would. Well, I have thought about it. I'd like to do some phonics books. So like the Julia Donaldson Songbirds phonics books. So to help children read, I think that character would suit that age range perfectly.
Okay.
But then I've got several other characters also that I'm writing about. So there's lots of projects happening all at once.
People that want to continue, they can look at the Facebook page and they can see the Adventures Panda Bear on there. But predominantly now you're putting most of your effort through Instagram.
That's right. That's hard work.
Yeah, and that's I'll put it in the text that goes with the podcast, but it's at Mrs. Busy Writing Magic.
Perfect. Yeah. I'm most active on that. It's like another full-time job. But everything, all my progress, all my thoughts, everything goes on there at the moment. So follow that journey, and you'll learn a bit more about me. If I haven't come across as crazy today and scared you off, or if I've displayed a little bit of crazy that makes me more likable, I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what you've definitely come across as today is somebody who is very, very, very passionate about wanting to improve the experience for children for books, and I think that should be applauded. So from me, who has grown-up children who most probably wouldn't appreciate, but I've got 2 grandsons who would appreciate your work. So I'll say a big thank you from me, because it's people like you that feed their imaginations, and that for me is critical for children. It's been an absolute pleasure. I hope I haven't been too harsh on you with it being your first podcast.
Thank you very much. No, it's been great. It's been an absolute great experience. And thank you very much for having me.
No worries. Great. And thank you very much.